I'm Candy Marie.
And I'm Mena Diaz, and welcome to the Moving Up Together podcast.
Mena, when you were growing up, what did you imagine your family would look like in the future?
Honestly, I don't know, what it would have looked like, and not even now as an adult, and I recently got married, and I still have no idea what it looks like. It's just, kind of all coming together, so I didn't really have much expectations. How did little Candy Marie think her family was gonna look like now in the future?
Honestly, that's such a great question because growing up in foster care, I don't know, everything was just very like all over the place. But what I knew for sure was that I wanted stability. And I knew that where I came from and what I was going through wasn't going to be my future. And I was like, I'm going to work so hard to change that, because
Yeah.
it's something that our amazing guest, and we're going to reveal her story very soon. She said something off air that really resonated with me. And I'm going to hold on to it. I'm going to let her drop that nugget very, very soon. But you are not a result of where you come from.
Exactly, and it's funny because 'cause you're right, as life goes on, we realize that families don't always fit into that neat little box that you imagine what it would look like growing up. You know, to your point, sometimes the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids with the dog and everything just doesn't happen the way you want it to.
Right.
And for many families, you have bigger families, you have smaller families.
Listen, I couldn't agree with you more. And if you just look at your own family or maybe some of your friends' families these days, it's pretty common to see that families with a rich mix of races, cultures, generations, and traditions, we're all really just different. We're who we are. And that creates a perfect segue in today's conversation. We have a phenomenal guest. Her name is Alisha Roe, and she's living proof of the changing face of families and households.
Alicia is a member of UpTogether, the nonprofit organization that created this podcast and is working to change the status quo approach to ending poverty. Alicia lives in Oakland, California with her 2 adult sons and her 10-year-old grandson, all under the same roof. It's a blend of multiple generations and backgrounds, all mixed together like a flavorful pot of gumbo. So, Alicia, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for this opportunity. Yeah, living with it's a challenge sometimes, but I look at it as an opportunity because it gives my boys a chance to get themselves together. So when they do go back out into the world, they'll be ready. This is my time to encourage them to keep, not to give up. That, they're young men that can go out and get it, again.
Listen, and you know what? When I tell you, I think that what you're saying is so relatable, and we're going to get into all of that very, very soon. But right now, we want to shake it up just a little bit and
Okay.
get to know you. Okay, what is something that brings you joy, like no matter what? Because we all have a story, but we have to find joy in the midst of the chaos and the things that are going on in our lives. What's that one thing for you?
My joy is it's my family, and I have been through a lot of health issues because, and I'm gonna be honest, because of my previous drug and alcohol abuse. And for me to be here, I went through a lot of stuff health wise, and my health and my family is one thing that gives me joy. And another thing too is that no matter what comes your way, and I'm not gonna get churchy, but I glean to the word. I glean to God. I glean to the word of God. And he has shown me so many times that he'll never leave me nor forsake me. And in the midst of it all, all we got to do is just walk outside and we can see ain't no reason for you to be complaining. It is so much drama
Amen.
outside,
Yep.
all the way down to a dog that might be lost or somebody that, abandoned the dog. It's so many ways that God will show you that, that it's, it could be worse. And I'm just grateful. I have an inner peace that I hadn't had in a long time. And I glean to it, and that's my thing. I just glean to where I've been, what God is doing in my life right now. And then I'm just grateful that I'm in this place. I'm getting emotional.
That's quite all right.
And we love that.
Yep, 'cause
That's
that's real.
That's real.
Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
I'm grateful that I have somewhere for my boys to come, because they had to come back home because of financial issues. I'm just grateful that I was there for them, because in previous times when I was on drugs and alcohol, I wasn't. And I thank God for family that stepped in. So for me to be here now and I'm right to be able to help them is just really good. So yeah.
And thank you for your transparency and your courage and your realness, your authenticity that you're giving us right now. Let's talk about your son's story. Tell us about it.
Well, the oldest one, he just had, it was just where he lived. He had to move. And so he had some health issues as well, but come home, back home with me. And it was a struggle for him because my oldest, he hadn't been back in my house since he was like 17 years old. So that showed me that I had instilled good values in them as far as to be on their own, to manage, on their own and not try to come back to me unless they had to.
Mhm.
And then my baby, basically, he's here with me now, Dalen. It was basically the same thing. It's rough out there for young people. And, he had been gone for 4 years, so he did good. So, but, yeah, it's the financial issues. So now my thing is what I'm instilling in them is why you got this opportunity is to stack your money, get yourself together. So when you go back out, you'll be ready.
And I'm glad you said that because, yeah, it's hard for us young folk. Me and Candy are in it right now. We're in that generation where we are trying to establish ourselves, and it's
Yes.
not easy. Like, it's a blessing that they have you to be able to, lean on essentially because,
Thank you.
let's take pride on out of here. Like, sometimes you just need help.
Right. Like I shared, I'm just glad I'm in the frame of mind and in a good place to where I can help them. Like I shared it before, it was a while that I wasn't, family came in, but yeah. And then it just gives us some time to, just to really support, encourage each other because we bounce ideas off each other. We help each other, and it's a good thing. It's not all me that, have all the ideas. My boys, I'm really blessed. They're very intelligent and I listen to them. I glean to what they, if they offer me something, some kind of advice or mom, you should do this or can we do it this way or whatever. So we just bounce ideas off each other and we just support each other to continue to go forward.
Yeah. And you have your sons, but you also have your, grandson, living with you, and
Yes.
you've had your grandson since he was 8 months old, correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So, what was that like bringing him in and just kinda going through that?
Ooh, at first I was I was like, ooh, when I turn 50, I'm going to be on the cruise. I'm going to be doing this. I'm going to be doing that. And my purse turned into a diaper bag. So we can go from there. I, due to some mental health that was involved, my intentions initially was to just foster care so they can get themselves together. And then I would give them back Jeremiah. And due to the relationship issues, the mom, she didn't want us to have, if she couldn't be with my sons, to give him away to strangers. That's how vindictive she was. And so all I could do was just wait and see. And we ended up going to court and they let me foster. And then within a year or so, I had the opportunity to adopt him. And I haven't looked back. And yeah, unfortunately, she's a good person, but she built her own case against herself. And with that being said, he's only seen her one time, but, he's a good kid. He's kind of an introvert, but, he's 10 years old now and we got him and he's playing. Well, just let me back up a little bit. Doing all that, it was a challenge because me being at my age, I had to go back to the whole thing of, diapers and, immunizations and all this stuff, not to mention all the times that we had to go to court, the process of getting him, and then we have the, where they do the well checks, coming to your house and all that stuff. So it was bitter and it was sweet. And then Dalen, he was still at home to bed, my youngest son. So he had his life changed as well because he had to become big brother and uncle because as far as
Right.
helping me with him, because the dad, Aaron, the father, he was living with he's married now, living with his wife. So he wasn't in the home, but he was around. But Dalen really, really, really was like my right hand man. And today they have the best relationship. He loves his uncle. He
Aw.
loves him. He really gleans to him. He listens to him. And right now, like I said, he's in flag football. He's an usher at my church, and he's they doing this thing called peacekeepers at his school, where they, like, if it's a conflict on the in the cafeteria, playground, or whatever, they do conflict resolution. So he's into that.
That's
And then
awesome.
also too, I have him in swimming and just a lot of things to keep him busy. But I think that he was put in my life too, because just think, even though I was coming out of, I was in recovery, but
Mhm.
recovery was still fresh. I think he was a good, way to keep me balanced, because looking at him, I knew I couldn't go back. I couldn't go back to old behaviors and none of that kind of stuff. And he kept me focused. This is what I got to do. This is what's in my life now. And
Mhm.
I took 10 years off from work to make sure he was okay. And I just recently went back to work 2 years ago.
It sounds like you're doing the best you can. And ultimately, I feel like every family has their problems, right? And you navigate together. And I think that what you are doing for these boys, they're gonna look back and they're gonna just thank God for you. And
Right,
also grew up in the system, and I was able to get into sports. They're finding ways to channel those emotions, and
right.
you're doing special work. You're doing God's work, definitely. And we know it's
Thank
not
you.
easy, especially, keeping a multi-generational household running smoothly. And that's what you're doing. It can be tough,
Yeah.
especially when money's tight. And you said a few things where it sounded like you felt like, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but I just want you to know that you're not the only one. All right.
Mhm.
That's the beautiful thing about moving up together, is that we're doing it, sharing these stories, because everybody is really, really tough. But I don't want you to feel like you're in this by yourself. And people, we love you, we support you, we stand with you, and we see your strength. We do. But that's why we got to find the joy in these moments, right? Things to come alive, because you got to live too. You got to have a
Oh,
life.
yes.
And going back to those financial, struggles, um,
Mhm.
what are some of the hurdles that you've overcome?
Well, the Up Together, the Oakland Resilience project, that really put me in a. Before that, living from month to month, that was hard because I was on disability, and that was a challenge. You had to make sure that you balance, and it really, to me, even, some people be sick and you have to be on it. But I believe any of those kind of systems, as far as those financial systems, they're designed to fail, make you fail, or designed to keep you right there to where you're just obligated, and it'll make you like, this is it. This is all I have to look forward to. But Open Resilience gave me that. It just like opened the door for me. It's like, yes, come on out of that. Come on out of that mindset. Come
Right.
out of that way. Come over here. This is how we're going to do this. This is going to give you the opportunity to catapult yourself to where it put me in a different mindset of thinking. And with that money, I was able to get my credit together. I opened up a nonprofit, got a college fund, and it made me feel it. The thing is, what I loved about it is that everybody, don't nobody just wake up and say, "Oh, I want to be low income."
Right.
Yeah, I just want to ride over here for 20 years. I just want to be low income, and then that's where I'm gonna just stay, and I'm gonna be okay. But you guys gave me the opportunity, so and like I said all the time, I pay it forward, and I'm hoping that this video helps somebody else, and I hope that the money that we got gave them an opportunity to say, hey, you know what? Somebody do care about me. Somebody wants to give me the opportunity, and you guys did. Y'all gave us all the opportunity to, and also to the naysayers to say, oh, they ain't gonna do right with that money. Yes, we did.
Right.
Yes, we did do right with this money, and that'll give you guys an opportunity to keep the money going for the next phase.
Yeah, and I'm glad you actually mentioned that. Real quick for our listeners,
Mm-hmm.
you're actually part of the Oakland Resilient Families Guaranteed Income Fund program,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
What this is for our listeners is, Alicia, you were one of 600 families that received a $500 a month, stipend essentially for
Yes.
18 months, right?
Yes.
And you mentioned with that extra bit of money, which,
Mm-hmm.
let's be real, in this economy, 500 bucks ain't that much, but with that money, you were able to get some financial stability. So you talked about investments, your grandson's education, and just kind of refocusing your attention on how to get ahead now that you actually have that bit of help. And I love that you mentioned the stigma that comes with, these kinds of programs, because we do get a lot of pushback with programs with guaranteed
Hmm.
income saying, "No, we can't give, people who are low income money because they're not gonna know how to spend it." Yeah, that's not a thing, right? We'd like to think that that's a thing, but it's not a thing. So could you elaborate a little more on the kind of investments, how you got yourself out of it? How did you essentially relearn how to handle your finances with that bit of help that came your way?
What I did, because at first I didn't believe it was real. It took me, I waited till like, it was like $1,500 on the card, you guys. And then I finally went and swiped it and bought a microwave for the house. And I realized that this program is really real.
Okay.
And so what I did was like, I was like, okay, I have 18 months and $500. What to do? I sat down and I made a plan on how to use it each month and to, make sure that I was putting some money to the side. I took care of everything that was necessary in the beginning. And then I forecasted every month. I just made sure that I was doing something that would get like, first I worked on my credit. Like I said, I opened up Jeremiah College Fund. I started my nonprofit, and then I just every month it was just every month I made sure that I was doing something that when that money ran out, that I would still be able, it would perpetuate. That was my thing, was making sure that 18 months, those $500 would perpetuate after
Yep.
we were done. But we were blessed. Phase one, we got an extra 6 months. Some donor gave us an extra 6 months. So I took that money and just opened up a savings account for myself. And so when it was over, I was okay to where I had that extra money until I got employed. And now I'm employed for Sutter Health. I do security and I'm making $27 an hour.
Nice.
Yes. So you have to have a plan. When I realized this thing is real, somebody's giving you that money, make a plan, make it work. And also too, make sure that it's going to perpetuate afterwards. When that money is gone, what are you doing? Have you thought about going back to school? You going to work? Because that money gonna run out. So you got to have something to go, to have afterwards, to make sure, like I said, I'm going to keep saying perpetuate. You got to make sure stay in motion. Keep that wheel turning. And it has worked out so well for me. And I'm just grateful because I was like, okay, these people really do care about us. They really want us to succeed. And so with that just really gave me the drive and the energy to, I'm going. I ain't no looking back. Ain't no more, no more. Ain't no more one check a month. I sat disability to the side and now I'm working and doing what I need to do. And it's a good thing. So yeah, for all the naysayers, yes, it do work. Give us the opportunity. Give other people the opportunity. It does work.
Yes, and you can do whatever you want with that money,
Right.
such a giver. Um, and you could even invest some of it in your community through your nonprofit. Love is lowest.
Yeah.
What did the investments free up for you to do?
It freed me up to help others. It freed me up to really take Love Lois to a different level because I was, I didn't know I didn't have no sponsorship. I didn't have any of those kind of things. But me opening it up, some of the money, one time I took the whole $500 and I did 2 events, Hidden Streets and Lunch on Lois. And with that, it opened up the door for others to see what I was doing. And now I have 2 sponsors. And I have my church that sponsored me.
Sponsors?
Yeah, so that's the thing. It's just I took some money and went out and invested it into my community. Also, too, another thing too. This has opened me up to learn more about Oakland and try to be more involved in it because a lot of people, like even just with simple stuff like a pothole, you don't even know who your district is. You don't even know what district you're in or anything like that. So now I know we have a block captain. It's just different things that have opened me up to learn and be more socially mindful, And then so like also too, I was able to help. I did help with the Oakland Thrives when they were doing the Cradle to Career. That, I don't know if you guys ever heard of that. It was through Kaiser, I think it was, but
Okay.
that opened my mind up to as far as different ways to help in the communities. So, and then we have this nonprofit not that far from me called Oakland Roots that does a lot in the community. So it's all kind of opportunities to get out there, and I do when I can if I'm not
You're getting
working.
out there.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot. Oakland has a lot you can do. Every community does.
It does. But you're right. The fact that you are kind of self-taught and you realize this when you decided to invest in other people,
Yes.
not just yourself, and that I mean, honestly, that's huge for you to have that foresight to say, "You know what? I'm in a better place. Let me go ahead and take some of this money and then be able to reinvest it in my community so other people can see that there are opportunities out there as well."
Right, right, right. And then now I even have a bank account for Love Lois, and I got about $2,000 in it. And I also every year during June I do scholarships, and it's a blessing because at my job I have people that every year, whenever I'm doing something that they hear Miss Alisha, they give me money and stuff, and then my church supports me, and then I have two other places. But it is so rewarding to go out and look for opportunities to help somebody. It
Yeah,
really is. I
yeah.
mean, and they don't have to be a lot. They don't have to be a lot. So I mean, I'm excited to see what I'll do next. I'm thinking about in next month or probably November, because everybody do something during November and December. But I have U-Haul gave me those blankets that you move with. They gave me like 100 of those blankets. So I'm gonna put a pair of socks and a beanie in a hat and roll it up and then put some little Christmas string around it. I did it before and it came out well, and then take them out with that in a nice hot lunch or hot dinner to sometime before. I'm thinking about the end of October. So I try to do some every couple of months, in between working and Jeremiah's schedule. But it's so much that people you could do. It's so much, and I'm grateful as far as where I'm at and being helped to now I can go out and help somebody.
Right. And why is that important to you? Like, why is that so important for you to help somebody that you don't even know?
Because you guys didn't know me.
Mm.
You guys didn't know me. You guys didn't know the other 599 people, but you took that chance. And sometimes people just a simple hi can take a conversation and a relationship to a place that you never would think. There's a young lady on my way to work. Her name is Denise. And I noticed in the park, everybody's all jumbled up together, but Denise is over here by herself. And she's a woman. So I took that time just to talk to her. And, she's a good person. Uh, didn't wake up like me. Didn't want to be low income, nor did she want to be homeless. But it's just those opportunities that I take. And it gives me, like when I got something extra, or I'll be like, I wonder what Denise like this, or do she have that? Or there's another gentleman named Julio. He stays in a tent right up the street from the hospital. So I always look for those opportunities because, like I said, y'all didn't know me, and you took a chance on me. So,
Yeah.
I'm about ready to cry again. I do.
Yeah.
And that's the way I was raised. We was raised to, my grandmother always looked for opportunities. My mom would sit out on the porch and we'd be like, leave them people alone. But you never knew, I consider now it was their ministry, but they love people and they always look for opportunities to help. So I can't get away from it. It's just there. And it's not a bad thing. It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah. And you mentioned your mom, your aunts being essentially a guide for you. They were always looking for opportunities to help. How much of that impacted you now, like, looking back at it?
Well, as far as how it impacted me, it impacted me to where you always don't ever get to a place where you just, Alicia, you just here. And that's where you just gonna stay. This is your little world. It's your little bubble. Don't pop it. Always keep yourself open to love, open to help, open to other opportunities. And that's just the way that I was raised. That was one thing, and it wasn't. It was just that's just how it was. It was just you just look for opportunities, help. It was my family. They've always had that servant mindset. And the family, we family was good. We was tight knit, but it was all about serving. It's always been the serving. My grandmother, she served at St. Vincent de Paul, their dining hall, for 20 plus years. Volunteered for 20 plus years. Worked in the Oakland Public School District, so it's always around food and giving out and doing things. So it's just a legacy that I have, and it's a good thing. I don't know. I just like being around people and helping people. I have a neighbor across the street. She's 83 years old. I wash it, go and clean up her bathrooms and stuff, and she got keys to my house. I have keys to hers, and my neighbors, they know I have a nonprofit. When I get food or whatever, I bring it to the neighborhood first. When I get those prepackaged boxes or whatever. But yeah, so always be looking for opportunities. If I see somebody, get to know them or whatever, and I just look for opportunities. If I run across something or resources, I, share what I have.
Minna, I have to tell you, Minna, I just love listening to Alisha share her heart.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate this opportunity. It strengthens me, and then I'm hoping that it helps somebody else. It helps somebody else because you guys, like I said, you took a chance on us, and I want you guys to see the rewards and the benefits from it. It's not brag or boast. It's that you guys put us in a better mind frame, a mindset that, that probably wouldn't have been afforded if you guys hadn't did that for us. So I don't take it lightly. I take it very serious. So that's why I was like, well, it was 18 months. Okay, this thing is real. Alisha, let's go.
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's make this thing work. And it's just have opened up so many doors, UpTogether, Elton. I ain't even never met him. I just have seen him like this, but he is like one of my good best friends, and we talk about family and he knows about my family, and it's just a blessing what you guys just don't know. You got to put me in a whole different mind frame set.
Well, I appreciate your point of view of everything too, because, you mentioned, how you tell yourself don't be in a bubble because of how you were raised. You're always looking for opportunities to serve. And we kinda live like that in this day and age,
Mm-hmm.
in my opinion, that we're all just like, as long as my bubble doesn't get disturbed,
Right.
and you kinda miss that from back in the day where it's like, yeah, you could go across the street to your neighbor and
Right.
be like, "Hey, mom," call on the phone, showing my age here. "Hey, mom, can I stay over, Miss Alicia's house for dinner?" And
Right.
it seems like we don't have a lot of that now, and I do think that that might be something that we should start getting back to. I know it's dangerous, and there are a lot of dangers nowadays, especially with all the things that get exposed with true crime series and all of that
Right.
stuff, right? But yeah, I love that you're focusing on the fact that there is more good than there is bad out there, and that is fantastic of you, and thank you for doing that because we need more people like you.
Yes. Sometimes all it takes is for a person to just show up.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
And
Right.
and and you have chosen to show up not only for yourself, but for your community consistently through your nonprofit, through your sons, through your grandsons, and that's what the world looks like. It's just a whole lot of people that are just coming together, blended, no matter your color, no matter your economic background.
Right. Right.
And it sounds like there were some seeds that were planted as you were growing up throughout your life of diversity, because we are diverse, we come from different backgrounds. And that's a big part of your family story, right?
Right.
Your oldest son's father is white, your grandson has a white mother, and you have your
Right.
son's dad. Listen, it's a whole melting pot.
It's all in there, ladies. It's all in there. And it's
Mhm.
funny that you talk about it because when they be sitting here chopping it up, and as far as Jeremiah, because he's just all Caucasian looking. He got us in him, but he has the blue eye, he has the gray eyes, and
Uh-huh.
everything, and we still, when we go places, they look at him, then they look at us, they look at him, they look at us, and it's just funny. And then like when they be playing around and stuff, the boys, and then we'll say something. He said something about, it was about race, and he was talking about far as the youngest one. He always have him going. He said, "You can't go to school." You know how we be saying, "Oh," or "Oh," or something like that. He say, "No, no, Jeremiah, you can't say that when you go to school because they go, because he's all white looking, and he
Mhm.
can't do that." But on the real tip, it's very interesting how we are helping him shape his mindset for the fact that yes, I'm biracial.
Mm-hmm.
I look more, on the Caucasian side, but he knows where the boundaries are. He knows about how some of the struggles different people of color go through.
Mm-hmm.
We share everything with him, so he'll understand. And he, like I said, we teach him the boundaries on, certain things you say and then certain things you just don't say.
Right.
And, he is just as far as, but, and then in here, it's like me being the only girl, I have to be careful with them. But the thing, like I said, basically in here, it's all about just shaping him because he's the one that's coming up right now. They're older. They know about their colors and different things as far as race and how things are not equal and how justice prevails sometimes for other colors and for other races and stuff. But it's basically just shaping Jeremiah, shaping his mind and just making sure he's okay. He be having questions, but why I can't say that? Or Caucasian, what is that? It's like you're you. So, and then it was, the thing was he struggled with the fact that for a while that he was like, I ain't black. Because, he couldn't understand, I'm all over here like this. So where am I black at? So we had to do the genes and we had to do hereditary with him. But it's funny how everybody, it's a blended family, blended generation. And it's just interesting how we all get along and we glean to each other. And I pull out nuggets from my grandmother and my mother to instill in them. And we take from society as well too.
Yes.
And we keep him, we try to keep him up to date on everything. We don't let him on Facebook or Twitter or any of that kind of stuff, but we talk to him. And he's getting it now. He understands that he is biracial. And so it's cool to be to be in a family like that.
Yeah, that's cool. I actually have my oldest brother is all white, so
really? Oh, that is cool.
I definitely understand some of what you're saying right now, and
yes,
it's okay to be different. And it's okay to have those questions,
Right.
Because if it don't come from you, it's gonna come from somebody else.
I was gonna say that. Yeah, and you rather that you game him up like this, game him up in the home. Because if not, like you said, curiosity, he will go out trying to find it from somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I'm glad he's the type of child that he's an introvert, but he do ask questions. And I'm one that I check in. I check in with all three of them, even the 31-year-old. How you doing? How is work? Anything you need to talk about.
Especially as he's a man, those conversations coming from women that love them or even just people, period. Like, how you doing?
Yeah, this is an open door house. We anything you can ask me anything. I'll help you through anything. Any questions? Like I always tell them too. No question is a dumb question. Always anything. And I tell him in a minute, if you don't feel like talking to grandma, talk to, he's really close with my youngest son, Dalen, the one that was in the home when I brought him in. And so they chop it up, and he told me it's some things he talked to him about that he's not going to talk to me about. So he knows that he has a safe place within the home to where he can just let it all out, So I check in, I check in with him to make sure.
How old are your sons and your grandsons?
I have the oldest one, Aaron, his dad, he's 31. Okay. And then Dalen, the baby, he's 23. And then Jeremiah be 11. So yeah, I got the whole pot going on. I got the whole thing going on. Y'all pray for me.
How do they help you within the household?
Like y'all questions, I got a chore list. I'm old school. This is what you got. Everybody got 2 or 3 things they do. I don't play this. Everybody got to do their stuff. And then I'm the only girl. And you think my pet peeve is the bathroom, so I had to just lay it out. Look,
all 3 of us are like, yes,
y'all already know.
Yes.
So yeah, I had to put it on paper. Everybody, Dalen got his. Even Jeremiah's trash. That's what he does. Yeah. So yeah, so it's everybody have their own place. and everybody have their chores, and everybody know their responsibilities. And at first, when Dalen came back home, because Aaron was already living with me, Aaron's been here over a year. And so Dalen had to come home. It's been like not even 6 months that he's been back. So it was a big transition, and everybody trying to find their place and how we're gonna, where people clothes gonna go now, and where this is gonna go, where this person's gonna sleep. So it was a big transition, but now we done got into it, and everybody's
That's
flowing pretty
good.
good. Yeah.
Well, how about, I mean, listen, you have all these men and boys in the house. Do they help out with the finances? Do you guys
Oh
split?
yeah. Oh yeah.
Because I mean, sis, we need
Yes.
help.
Yes.
Like, how do you help?
Both of them, we all do security. We all work in security. Me
Okay.
and the oldest one, we work for Allied Universal, and we both work at hospitals. We're both with Sutter. He's in Berkeley, California, and I work in Oakland, California.
Okay,
The baby,
good.
he works for another company called Securitas, and he's over at Facebook in San Francisco.
Okay.
So we're doing, I mean, that we all are doing okay. And so my thing is, I only charge them $400 a month. One is on the first and the third. They give me $200. Both of them give me $400 a month. One is on the first and the third, the other second and the fourth. And that way that kind of helps me. It helps me like pay off some credit card bills or put some money to the side or do what I need to do on some extra, or just put the money on some extra bills or just hold on to it. And the reason why I don't really charge them a lot is because I want them to stack their money and get out of my house. So,
That's the realest answer ever. Like, listen,
I mean, really, and you know what?
you can go.
Yeah, but this is, most people, when you live with people or I don't know, as far as whatever you ever been in that situation, some people can be just dirty. They ain't trying to really, okay, you in my house and this is how it's going to be, but I'm trying to help them. This is part of the encouragement. This is part of the support. And this is part of, helping them learn to stay productive, because that's the only way they're going to make it. So I don't charge them a lot.
Yeah, that's how it should be. I mean,
Yes.
especially you have a supportive parent, you're a supportive parent. Hey, come here, give me a percentage, because
Yes.
one, that also teaches you fiscal responsibility.
Right.
And then
Right.
two, put the rest of the money aside because you want your own place.
And then on top of it too, if my thing is, you have no reason not to have some money stacked off. Because if I really was charging it's a win-win situation. I'm giving you the opportunity. And if, and I'm the type of mom, look, okay, if you have an issue, you have some other, and I'm not saying that they have other, financial responsibilities too. So you just be honest with me. Okay, mom, I can't do it this way this week. Or if we got to go to where it's just $100 every week versus $200 every 2 weeks, whatever it takes to help them stay responsible and be productive and be able to save what they need to go out on their own again, then I'm all in. I mean, I'm flexible, but also too, you do have to contribute. So they're good as far as the chores and the finances. I don't have no problem out of them. Yeah, so I'm really great. I'm grateful for that, and they like the way we have it set up. So it's a good thing. It's a good thing.
And you know what? I feel like I have so many questions right now, just especially in terms of like our community. Because on one hand, I'm like, sis, you're supposed to be an empty nester. And then on the other hand,
Right.
I'm like, I believe that, and this is a whole nother conversation for a whole nother podcast, but I think that as Black families, we have to stop kicking our kids out when they are not ready. Because like,
Right.
it sounds like you're doing is you are teaching them how to save, you're teaching generational wealth.
Right.
How do we keep the money instead of spending it, and like smart choices and a lot of questions, but how do you feel like you're at an age where, your kids are grown, now you have another generation of babies, so like, what do you stand on that?
At this point in the game, I just look at it like this is just where I'm supposed to be, and I'm okay. I have a peace that just keeps me, because I believe that if I wasn't here to help them, it's so many things out there that could take your young Black men, young men of color, period. It's so much out there. So with them knowing that they have the place to come and they're safe, I'm okay. We have a trip planned for next year to go to the Bahamas. I get to go do stuff with my girls, from the church and stuff. And I mean, once I came in and I stopped using drugs and stuff and settled myself, I'm okay with being at home. I get my time to go out, but I'm okay with where I'm at. It doesn't bother me that I never was a club hopper. I never did all that kind of stuff. And then now that I'm really settled in Christ, I mean, this is it for me. When I want to go turn up, I go to church. So that's basically it. I'm settled within myself. I really am, ladies.
One thing though, I mean, and I don't know where you are in terms of this, but retirement is something that you have to also start to think about and consider.
Yes.
So where are you at in terms of saving for retirement, or like where are you with that?
Okay, with that being said, some of the money that they've been giving me, I have put into savings, and also too, fortunately, Allied is going in house to Sutter. Mm-hmm. So my plan is if I could work to 65, because I'm 57 now, and I didn't go back to work till I was 55 years old, because I took that time off for Jeremiah, because I wanted him to be able to tell me if somebody's doing something to him or if something ain't right, because they like little boys too. So I had to make sure he was okay. But back to retirement, I'm hoping that by 65 I can retire, and by Allied is getting ready to go in-house. So that means I'll have a better opportunity for 401k, better opportunity for a decent retirement package. So that's where I'm at. So, and I'm also looking at the fact that if I just get tired of saying I don't want to do security, even though I'm in-house, me being with Sutter and being, I'll be in-house, there's other jobs I can apply for. If I got tired of, being bothered with people, cause what I do 2 days a week there, I do patrol and then I supervise. I got promoted to be a supervisor, but it's like per diem. If another supervisor call off or they on vacay or they sick or something, which is fine because it fit my schedule with Jeremiah. So I'm okay with that. But, 2 days out the week, I work the metal detector, and you got to ask people, do you have any guns? You have to go through all that. And so by me going in-house, stay with the security, but it opens the doors for me to be, when there's something else I might want to apply for that's a little less stressful, I'll have deals at it. So it's all about staying there, staying with the company for 10 years, and then retiring with the decent benefits through Sutter. Some people are not happy with it, but I'm grateful. So I'm ready to go. I can't wait till we go in-house. So that's my plan for retirement.
Okay, because we got to make sure that you're taken care of.
Oh, yes, girl. I tell you, that Oakland Resilience made me think. I mean, I don't get like OCD-ish, but, but I'm always making sure that I'm keeping the plan I have. I got to make sure it stays in motion. Yes. And I got to make sure I set goals, I have, your little mini goals, the little short goals can, help you obtain the big goals. So my next step is after this year is out, and hopefully I'm thinking January, February, I'm hoping my boys are both gone. And so I signed up with NACA, the NACA program. Yes. So first time homeowner. So I did my workshop. And the thing is, you have to save $2,500 just in case for like little blips or whatever. So I'm almost close to that. So I'm just going to let this year ride out, get them situated, and then I'm going in. I'll be looking at houses. I want to move to Vallejo. I want to give Oakland. I don't count Oakland out, but Oakland it's some work got to be done, and I don't mind doing my part. It's a lot. It's the whole legislation. Get up. All that needs to be restructured. It's just so much going on here, and it shouldn't be, because Oakland is really a beautiful place. It really is. It really is, and it shouldn't be like it is. And so that's another thing that makes you want to get involved. You have to do your part. You got to know what district you're in. You gotta know people. You gotta be informed. You gotta act like you want to know. You gotta act like you concerned. Get to know your officers. Like when I'm up at the hospital, I know several officers. I know what their beats and stuff. They're not bad people. Know your neighbors. I found out we got a block captain, was here a year, didn't even know that. But just things that you have to get involved with. So yeah, so it's retirement, 65, after we go in-house with Sutter. Then also too, next year, it's all about finishing up with NACA. That's what it's about. I got all my profile, everything, all my checklists is done. I'm close to my 2,500, and it's all about doing it now.
That's a great plan.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm believing that Jeremiah going to college.
Come on.
Yep. Yes. Speak that.
Come on, education. Let's go.
Yeah.
He's very intelligent. Math is his strong part. He was sitting right here one day doing his math, and he was like staring off his face, and I ain't good at math. I'll help you write an essay, but you got to ask your uncle and your daddy about
I'm
some
here
math.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah, I can write you the best essay you want, but the math, no. So he was sitting here, ladies, and he was just like staring off, and I was like, Lord, I know I can't help this boy because the way he looking, I know I can help with this problem. And I say, and he said, no, I'm fine. He was doing the problem in his
In
head.
his head.
Yes, he's awesome with math. So
I'm so jealous of people like that.
me too, me too.
I
So,
can't. Look,
yeah, right.
ask me to do anything else.
Right. So he's gonna be okay. And by
Yeah.
me putting him in these little activities and stuff, this is gonna bust him wide open. He's gonna be that social butterfly that I know he can be. So he's gonna be fine.
And Alisha, that's the perfect segue because normally we end the show with a segment called Free Game, where basically you just kind of, what's your free game? What do you want to tell the audience listening right now, like what they can do in their communities? Do you have a message for public officials, so on and so forth? But since you kind of addressed that already, I wanted to ask you this question.
Mm-hmm.
Given that you have gone through life, you have had several ups and downs from, like you said, your addiction to soberness, to church, to raising your grandson, your son's coming back in the house with you. What is one or two things that you would say is your best advice to break generational curses? Because a lot of our families are still living with these generational curses of we don't know how to build wealth. We don't know, how to use the education system, how to, we don't know where our resources are. And it's just we should just look because they're there.
Yes.
But what would you say one or two things you would say to break generational curses within our families?
Matriarch or the patriarch or the family, I would just suggest that you get involved. Find out about your officials. There's resources like 211, Eden INR. Go to social service places. Just look for opportunities. Go down to city hall. Go to city wherever you're at. Try to find different places that are these kind of services. And I would just hope that they would just look for places to get involved. Find out who's your what district are you in? Who are your constituents? Those kind of things. Find out if you have a block captain. If not, become the block captain. It's a lot of stuff that you can do. You have to Google, find out, like community, like if they having block parties or what kind of community resources is out there. You just have to get involved. You have to do some digging. You have to do some digging, and especially like those who are from the UpTogether. You guys, you have the opportunity to help as far as looking for resources, but you just have to get online, go to the city, find out the resources, go to the social services places, and those kind of things. Try to look for opportunities to get involved because they're out there. They're out there. They're out there. Like I said, become a block captain. Organize a block party. Organize a block cleanup. Find different ways to get involved. Those different things. And it's amazing. Even in your neighborhoods, you can go in and out your house and not even know your next door neighbor. And, like we talked about that, it's just try to get involved with your neighbors. It's okay to knock on doors or put leaflets out or whatever. Try to see if you can start there because it's a lot of ways to come up with icebreakers to make your community, get involved with your neighborhood. It really is. There's a lot of stuff out there. You just have to get online and look for those opportunities. Or start, just do like I did. Make up 100 sandwiches and just go out and, go out to 10 City. Do something like that. Go and feed somebody. Go out and pass out some socks or whatever. Or go, like in the city of Oakland during Thanksgiving, they feed. You can even go like to the firehouse or the Oakland police station. I know there's resources there to help you be involved. Because they're looking for people. They're not always looking for somebody to arrest. They're looking for somebody to say, hey, okay, this is what I want to do. Can you support? Because we did a community event and the police was glad to come and they passed out stuff. So, you just have to want to get out there. You have to do your research. You have to do homework. But it's okay and it's so rewarding. because you make your community. You make your community. You can't just go in and out your house, out your door, and just don't say nothing to nobody or get involved. And you be the first one to complain. And also, too, you got to do what? You got to vote. Got to be
Mhm.
involved. You got to be politically involved, not just on the TV. Get out, vote. And even if you're not working or whatever, what I did for years, I went and worked at the polls. That way I stayed politically aware. I was able to see what the what was on legislation, and also to do my part. So it's a lot of ways that we can help. So don't sit back and complain. Get out and help. Get out and help your community. Know your community. Love your community. Like I said, you make your community. And that's why I don't let people, people talk about, oh, you live in Oakland? Yeah, I live in Oakland. Ain't nothing bad with Oakland. We got some things. Well, every place has some things, but
Yeah.
you have to get
Every
involved. It's
city.
all about you make your community. If you want to see change, you got to get out and be involved.
Mm-hmm. It sounds like this whole episode was just a whole lot of free game, Minna.
Yeah, right. That's what I was like.
I just hope that through everybody that gets a chance to get on this podcast or be part of this podcast or just be a viewer, just stay encouraged, get involved, love your family, love your community, look for opportunities to uplift your family, uplift your community. Try to be supportive. Stay encouraged of all things. Just love your community.
What can government officials learn from your family's experience?
They can learn that they can stop counting us out, for one. Like I said, nobody wakes up wanting to be low income. They can learn that these programs do work. We are proving data and statistics and numbers that this thing do work. Continue to give people the opportunity. Don't count us out. Don't count the program out. Continue to let the phases go on. Learn from the data. The data don't lie. I'm living proof that the data doesn't lie. So for me to the legislation, give us a chance. Keep the program going. Keep the program going. I'm living proof that the data works. And I'm quite sure I'm not the only one. I'm quite sure there's a lot of people that took that money and did what was necessary and ain't looking back. So
Yep.
yeah, we are living proof. If you ever want me to talk to legislation, I'm your girl. Because it does work. Yeah. And I thank you guys for this opportunity. Everyone that's on, stay encouraged.
Yes.
Stay encouraged. Yes.
Well, thank you so much again. Powerful episode, powerful words. So much
Thank
that
you.
we're hoping that government officials and everyone else that's listening can take away from it. Again, Alisha Roe, absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing your story.
No problem. Sorry about the tears, but I'm a real person because this is dear to me. I don't take none of this lightly because it could be totally, something bad. But you guys gave me the opportunity and I appreciate it and I'm still perpetuating. Thank you again.
You never have to apologize for your passion. You never have to apologize for being a change agent for your community. So thank you. Thank you again so much. We appreciate your time. And we thank you guys for listening to the Moving Up Together podcast. Moving Up Together was created by the national nonprofit UpTogether and produced by Creative Differences. If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe and leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.